Hi, Lou Manfredini, Ace's Home Expert. In this video, we're going to talk about what to check if your toilet is leaking inside of itself, meaning that you notice that when you look inside the bowl, water seems to be running and you can't quite figure out why it's not stopping. Okay, a couple things. Take the lid off of the tank, and there you're going to see that you've got the toilet handle and a lever connected to a chain down to the flapper. That flapper is what holds the water in the tank, and if you're noticing that water's coming into the bowl, it could be that that flapper is faulty. But before you go the route of replacing it, just take your finger and push down on the flapper to add a little bit more pressure. And if you do so, and then the water stops, well, now we've diagnosed that the issue is the flapper. Over time, what can happen is the flappers sit inside the water, they can become misshapen or they can become brittle and not seal properly. There are different size flappers, so my recommendation is shut the water off to the toilet, take that one off, go to the hardware store and say, I need one of these. They'll get you the right flapper. Before you install it, make sure that you clean the little ring that it sits on, because that can have a little bit of debris that can also cause the flapper not to seal properly. And then replace that flapper. You put the two tabs on the little wings that are on either side of the tube, connect the chain, make sure there's the proper amount of slack in the chain, you've solved the problem. Now, if it's not the flapper, then it could be the fill valve itself. And if you articulate that valve up and down, the float, if you notice when you pull it all the way up and the water's still running, then you need to replace that fill valve. To do this, you need to turn the water off to the toilet. You need to remove the water line from the valve that goes up into the fill valve. There's a nut right there that you remove. You're going to flush the toilet to get as much water out as possible. Then you're going to remove that nut and remove that entire fill valve out of there. Now, some water will spill out of there, so have a container or a shallow pan on the floor to catch that water, and have a couple towels at the ready as well. Once it's out, you see the hole, clean that up. Put the new fill valve in. It gives you a nice washer to seal and a new nut that you can tighten by hand, position it properly. Make sure you get a nice tight seal. Don't over tighten it, but a nice tight seal. Once it's in there, there's a fill valve that comes from the fill valve assembly, a tube where the water goes into the overflow pipe. Make sure you position that. Then reconnect the water line, turn the water on, and hopefully your toilet is no longer leaking into the bowl. Now, if you went through replacing the flapper and the fill valve and it's still leaking, well, there's one more thing to check. It could be the flush valve assembly, the thing that the flapper's connected to. There's a washer that connects that tank to the bowl, and that could be leaking. Then you need to replace the entire flush valve assembly. My video on that is coming up next.